puppy dog doing that.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. The dog has literally just started to bark the minute we started this. What's the dog's name?
Iggy.
Iggy.
Iggy. Who came up with a name?
Brooklyn Jr.
I mean, it's a pretty cool name.
The beautiful puppy.
All right, looks like we're going live here. I'm going to share it on my page. If you guys can make sure that you do it and share it on your page, that would be groovy as well.
Yes.
Let's go
Right on
live with Dino and Newby, the boys from RAI. Oh, it's very exciting reading out the old possibilities on the point situation. Woo!
Yeah.
Anything could happen. Now Noobs is not going to sleep at all. How good's that?
No, Newby sleeps all right.
You go all right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be worried about not getting any sleep?
No.
All right. So I'm doing that. Someone's going to tell us for sure that they are tuned in the audio. Alex Hoffman, Chris Barry, two other people are watching. This is exciting. I cannot wait. Finally, the Nitro Nationals this Saturday, Sydney Dragway. How good is it going to be? Have you been getting much sleep, News? And what's going on with the hair? Because normally there's a haircut involved at some point on race day weekend.
I've got to wait till Saturday. It's a surprise with that.
So you are getting one Friday?
We'll get a tune up on Friday.
A tune up. Ooh, Jason Newby is watching. Woohoo!
A big brother.
Big brother. Nice. Hello, Leanne Douglas, Peter Cullen. Bunch of people tuned in. If you could share this for us, please press the old share button. That would be groovy. We are live from the Rapisarda Autosport International Race Headquarters. And the boys are like, really? Andrew Casos. Oh, Andrew Casos is watching. Have you got any message for Casos?
Hey.
Hi.
Wow, that's all you got.
Get to this.
Queso, I hung out with Queso on the Gold Coast just recently. Very, very funny man. Leo Monteleone from Mildura, mate, from Mil Vegas. Cool to have you tune in as well. Jazzy Lawrence, huge fan, Noobs.
Thank
you got fans. Hey, look at you go. Two legends, it says, Chris Barry. Wow. So, Tina, that just must be you and I. So before he had his sunglasses on, or his reading glasses on top of his head, I'm like, take that off. And what was your reason for why he has to wear glasses?
Well, he's an engineer. He might have to have a closer look at something at any moment's notice.
I hadn't actually thought of that. So if you're not across what's going on here, it is a critical moment in the championship. Doesn't get more critical than that. And it basically got carried over from August, where the championship was going to originally be wrapped up in Sydney, August, September. And now here we are back in Sydney, getting ready to wrap up the Nitro Nationals. And this is Racer Industries, I think, and PW Brakes as well. Big shout out to them for supporting us as well. Nicole is watching from Bali. So Nicole, that's how committed Nicole Amelsford is with this whole deal. She's got a couple of bintangs. She's probably laying by the pool right now and watching. So she's going to be back in time for the weekend. Hello, Steph Johns, tuned in as well. So the championship has come down to this. 3 more rounds unless Damien wins on the weekend. I think that's the way it works, right?
Well, yeah, well, the way we look at it, we just got to go out and win each round. If we do that, it's virtually in the bag.
Virtually in the bag. That's the way you're feeling, Noobs. I like that. A bit of confidence.
Yeah, no, that's the way you got to tackle it. There's still that chance that Damien could win the championship, but we've got the points lead, and like Tino said, if we can just win round by round, no one can overtake us.
All right, so Grant Stevens, fantastic photographer. I mean, like fantastic photographer, has given me this scenario. Are you ready for this, Noobs?
Yep.
Pay attention. All right, you got 707 points, right?
Yep.
Damien's got 617. Hello, Ross Lamartina. Happy birthday for the other day, Roscoe. There's 149 points on offer. Noobs, you've got a 90-point lead. Are you writing this down?
Do I need a pen?
Yeah, I think you should. Write it in crayon. Or draw pictures, Wayne. That'll help you better. So you need to earn 60 points to win the championship if Damien gets the maximum. All right. So if Damien gets the maximum, you need to get at least 60. Now, Damien most likely needs to win both the rounds and the A final before we have to consider ET and bonus points, right? So round one and round two are both worth a maximum of 38 points each, right? 30 for the win and 8 for low ET. ET points we can sort of disregard at the moment because there can be a maximum 5-point swing for each of those rounds. Now, assuming both cars show up and attempt all runs. Now, Harris's car is in the truck, right?
Almost. It should be later tonight.
Well, maybe you could lock the door, Noobs. Maybe they can't load her up.
Weld it shut.
You get no points for a no-show or not being able to start. That's critical as well, just to add a little bit more pressure to the situation. The worst newbie can score is 35 plus the ET points, okay? The lowest total, if you complete all the 3 runs and a time it's like an extra 9 ET points total, you'll get 44 in total. So the only way you can score less than that is if you miss a round or anything dramatic happens, and then it just goes. So in round one, if you win, Noobs, you still have a 90-point lead, give or take a point or so for ETs, and there's still 111 points available, okay? If Damo loses round one, so if you both win round one, that's what happens. You still have a 90-point lead. If Damo loses round one and Newbie wins, his lead goes to 110, give or take your ET points as well. And it's basically all over. All right, so if Damo loses the first round and you win, Noobs, happy days for you, okay? But ET points and any possible bonus points for low ET and top speed, which we know he's very, very, very good at, that may swing things as well. If Damo wins round one and Newbie loses, the points advantage is cut to 70. Then it gets really spicy. All right. If Wayne, you win round two, it's over. Got it? Capiche?
Capiche.
Right. If you are 1 from 2 going into round two, it's not over mathematically, but you'd have to be sort of a no-show for the final or something like that to even have a chance of losing. But if you are 0 from 2, Noobs, and Damien's 2 from 2, it gets really interesting because it comes down to ET points and all that sort of stuff. Damien has to win both rounds and likely still win the A final. Does we make sense? This all makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Easy. Easy. If it wasn't Damien Harris.
Oh, well, he's got to make sure that plane lands here from Perth. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice. I hadn't even thought about the transportation issues, logistics. Noobs, you've been phenomenally consistent this year. The pair of you guys have been unbelievably consistent. It's just the idea that a 368 kind of blew things sky high. But if you take those off the shelf, you guys have been consistently, I think, the most speedy team out there.
Yeah, we've had the best car all year. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, we haven't run that 60, but I suppose we've got to not look at that this weekend and just make sure we go out there and win each round as it comes.
So how did the bend work for you with that? Like, was that literally a chance to know what the car... Santino, I'll ask you this question. Was that literally a chance just to work out what is realistic as far as ETs are concerned with no championship points?
Yeah, the conditions were a bit trickier than when we'd been there previously.
Yep.
First couple of times, prior to that little exhibition race, there've been a lot of cars entered, so that really helps the racetrack prep. And at this race, it was quite a bit lower. So I think that put us out a little bit, and that's why maybe anyone watching saw that there weren't too many spectacular runs, and we leaned on it on the Sunday, the last day of racing, and obviously Damien and Junior got their minds in the right area there. Made some good runs. The 72 was safe by the end of the weekend, and we got to crack 332 mile an hour, which was an experimental thing we were doing, and it paid off. So something we could be using if the conditions allow us to this weekend.
So, Noobs, from your point of view, the single goal is to get your hands on the Stan Sainty. That is absolutely the goal, regardless of what the ETs look like, regardless of what the speed looks like. It's like, get the wins and lock the thing in. Do you give yourself even a little bit of a fantasy that, you know what, let's try and run a 3.6 in the final or something like that if it's beyond anyone getting a hold of it? Or do you want to just be consistent right through and go, we'll get the win no matter what?
I think if we can nail down them first couple of wins and get us that championship, I'm sure the young fella beside me here is going to turn up the wick a little bit. So, and if the conditions allow us to do it on the day, it's looking pretty hot out there on Saturday. So that's going to throw a big curveball to it as well.
So, Tino, I mean, consistency has been something that you guys have really been very, very good at this year. You don't like using the term. Remember when Pete Gibris was called the bracket car for a little while, in those last couple of seasons where it's like, God, it's so consistent, but a 380 is never going to get the job done. And now we've come down into the high 360s now and low 370s is, I think 371 with a 9 or something like that, Newbs. Both you and Felipe actually ran that. So at what point do you go, do we need to run a 360 in terms of your own pride and what you're doing, Tino?
Oh, look, it's always in the back of your mind. And like I said, after the last race, we picked up a lot of performance on the second half of the racetrack. But running a 360, that opportunity is it's a bit like a pendulum. Like you swing close to those conditions and you take your shot, but after that, you swing back away. The tracks are a bit warmer, and the opportunity's not there every run. Like we talk about it maybe in the commentary box a lot, but it's not always available. When the moment comes, you've got to make a decision to put the car right on the edge or not. But a 60 is not always on the table.
Is a win regardless? You don't want to hurt stuff, right? You want to get down there and run, and you're never going to be happy with a 4, like ever. But is a win a win?
Yeah, as long as it's clean. We've done it the right way, and I guess we've anticipated our changes to give us the result. Then you're happy, and keep Newby happy as well. He's been doing a great job all season.
So it's interesting you use the word happy, because I think you said that we like the fact the car and the motor is happy during the bend. During those spring nationals, you basically made that comment that the car is happy right now. So you didn't blow the thing off the tires every time you went out there. Like, you had a pretty consistent base. So is that round completely separate, or can you transfer that consistency over to this?
I think so. Yeah, certain things that we did at the bend for the first time, if the weather permits this weekend, we'll be doing. You just got to look back at everything you've done, and when you're on the day, look back at your notes and what's similar to previous circumstances that you've capitalized on most, and go with that. And if you think you needed to pinch it harder than last scenario, then you do that.
Noobs, there are no cold trickles in Top Fuel. Every driver in the game has a pretty significant understanding of the race car. You can't just roll in, I think, and go, rightio, point me that way, let's just hit it. You have to have a pretty intimate understanding of what he wants to do with the car and relay that information and stuff. How much do you ever disagree? And I don't mean like you go, no, that's wrong, but are you ever that far apart in your thinking with this stuff? Or are you always, this is what I'm thinking the car is doing, and you go, no, actually it's not?
No, I think we've always been in sync with each other. We both understand what goes on, how the car reacts and that. So 2 brains are better than 1, aren't they?
Sure. Well, what about, I mean, Tino, you see the way the car reacts and all those sort of things, but do you ever get information back that surprises you from something that's different to what he's experienced?
No, Newby's been driving, race cars for a long time. So whatever he comes back with generally makes sense, which is, very fortunate from my point of view. It doesn't leave you scratching your head. Things do seem to always add up. And like I said earlier, he's an engineer, so he's built his own race cars, built his own parts, his clutches, you blowers, everything, his diffs. He can work on anything, and he understands what it's doing. So, mechanically, he's an advantage to the car.
The two of them, both him and Damien, are significantly different in their outgoing nature. Maybe not within the team, right? Like, you guys all have I think a Newby version in the team and a Harris version inside the team, and then what you see outside the truck is different. Not so much with Newbs, but with Damien particularly, he's very guarded. How different are you and Junior, like your brother and you, and in the way you approach things? Are you very different in your way of doing things?
No, we can just side eye each other, and it's like Bluetoothing our thoughts across.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time together, so and we learned how to run these cars together. So a lot of the practices that we learned are stuck with us, and they're ingrained in us. So yeah, we have the same thought process quite often.
You notice that too, Noob? So you're sort of looking over at the other car going, oh, yeah, I know exactly what they're doing. Are you tuned in on that as well?
Yeah, I'm always on top of that stuff.
So you wander over and see what they're. I mean, how much data information are you sharing before runs?
It's all in scale. So like, if my number's 100, his is 104, typically we'll find that we move at the same rate, you know. Because every car wants something different. So whether it's the weight of the car or the brand of the chassis, we do have different brand chassis. One's a canopy car where there's a different, amount of weight on the car in a different spot.
Yeah, right.
So like we haven't scienced it out, but you just, make the changes that the car's asking for, and then typically you move in scale.
So in just increments, because if you change too much on these things too, Tino, and you suddenly change things dramatically, it'd be hard to pinpoint what was actually the one thing that made a difference, right? And you get so little time to work this out. We're not doing 10 passes a day here to go, oh, we're just close there. Let's try this.
Yeah. If it makes sense and you believe in what you're doing, then I think you should do it. I don't like doing things as a guess. Like I like to, have reasons why I'm doing something and more than one. And then I like to see the result that I was anticipating. If not, then we start investigating.
Yeah, it's a bit like the old Top Gun. That's a big gamble with a $30 million plane, Lieutenant. Right? You got to, you don't get any time to burn it. You've got to get after it. Noobs, it's at home for you, your spiritual home place. It's where you grew up drag racing. In a lot of respects, you and your dad have so many incredible memories. Racing at Sydney Dragway. So it's super cool. This is not at the Motorplex, and I say that with respect for Damien and for the West Aussie fans, but an opportunity to win this at home is pretty special.
Yeah, I've got a lot of family and that coming out, so it's going to be a great weekend. Hopefully the weather gods are good to us all weekend. Just can't wait.
So your expectations coming into this, you can do the job. The pair of you know you've got a great hot rod. You've had a fantastic season. That's proven by the fact that you're in this championship position, but the unknown is Damien. Like, he's just such a freak at pulling things out of the bag.
Yeah, that whole team over there, like Damien and Junior together, they've been the benchmark for the last couple of years. So hopefully it's our turn this year, and the young fella here beside me has got the car where it needs to be, and we can go and take this thing out.
In sprint car racing, Tino, the crew chief is celebrated quite a bit these days as a big part of the package. In supercars, you don't hear that so much. Obviously, there's an engineer that's responsible for the setup of the car, but it's put mostly on the driver. I feel like in fuel that your role is just as important as his, and vice versa. And Noobs, I'll get you to speak to that first, because what Santino does with that hot rod is so incredibly important to whatever you get to do with it later.
Yeah, no, mate, that's all him. Honestly, all I got to do is put the foot down at the right time. That's all I got to do. So he's the brains behind the whole thing. He's the one that calls all the shots. So the hat's off to him. He does an excellent job and calls all the right shots on the day.
I think he's simplifying his role just a little bit here, Tino.
Yeah, like I said, Newby could build this car front to back. He's not an ordinary driver. I'm not saying that anyone else is ordinary, but he can fabricate, he can machine. But then touching on like the tune-up side of things, for me, I can have the greatest numbers in the world on a spreadsheet or a piece of paper, but the crew guys that we haven't mentioned, if they don't put the car together right, I wish I did a list of names so we don't leave anyone out, but
don't do that. It's bad.
Yeah, I know we've done that one before, but there's just a lot of people that contribute to this, and the tune-up or the setup that we think we have is kind of useless if we're not putting the car together right. We're pulling these things down to nothing in between runs, and the work that all the guys and girls put in the preparation foremost, and then at the track to thrash and get it done with precision is what makes it happen. Like otherwise, whatever decisions or changes I make are just off in the wind.
You've got Sholov again running a third car. Like that's a situation from Rudy Hill. It's always a good one to tell the Americans what that means. So again, a three-car operation, which is just mega. Like, is three cars 3 times the amount of work, Santino? I would think it's more than 3 times the amount of work, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, and that's again back to the crew. It's it's a big effort for everyone to get a whole other set of parts together. Like it's not just a little tack on. The third car, when we bring it out, it's well established as a third arm of our team. And we want it to go out there and disregard both of our cars for Newby and Damo. And it's flogged us both in one day before. And that's how we like to race. And we want them to have everything they need to go and do whatever we could do, given the right setup calls and the guys on the team doing such a good job.
Yeah, and there's everybody in fuel or in Group 1 competition and in elite competition. You can't just super sub someone in and out. You guys do that sometimes with Larry Dixon, where you bring Larry in, and thank you for doing that, by the way. But it's like a Formula 1 driver. You can't just find someone and go, you know what? Noobs is unavailable this weekend. There's a bloke that doesn't do a bad job in modified. Let's give him a chance. Or, or Jess or Brooke, maybe let's throw them in just for a run. Not that they couldn't one day do that.
Yeah.
But everybody is so uniquely trained for what you do in fuel.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're lucky enough that Shane's had his Rudy Hill experience a couple of times.
Yep.
So so he's going to be taking the wheel of the third car this weekend with his crew, with Rob and the crew. So he's a sub that you can rely on. I know he's got a nice new shiny suit for the weekend.
Does he really?
So,
looking slick.
So he's looking pretty slick, and he's good to go.
Isn't it cool the generational impact on drag racing? When you think back to just in your team, Tino, you think about obviously with Brooke and Jess, with their passion for racing. You look at Shane with Brittany, with her passion for racing. You look in with Phil, with Curtis, with what he's doing now in that competition as well. Like it's quite remarkable, the generational impact that this sport has. It's very much about families.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that Dad's passed on to us, and it's just a constant drive to do better. It seems like lately there's always room to produce better results.
Yep.
And it keeps you going. Like you said, with the Reeds and Curtis's car, we constantly talk to them as an example, and they're always pushing that car, and it's exciting to see, maybe we've got a future Mamba driver coming up against us.
Yeah, I mean, and I noticed when the chips are down, boys, like when the Reeds had that really awful fire at the bend, every team got around them. What do you need? Like your dad wandered in, Tino, and it's like, I just tell him, what does he need? What does he need? And I know that Lama came over and did the same thing. Like there's that, we want to go out there and beat everybody, but we want to be in a position to beat everyone, right?
Yeah, 100%. You need every car out there. It's a very limited field because of the expense of this sport, but every car is the opportunity to race.
Noobs, you were at a point, I think, last year and even coming into the start of this year where you were starting to think, am I ballast here? Like, am I dead weight to this team? I think, when your knee was giving you issues and you had dramas, you went to the beach at Perth and you started to think, am I doing what I need to be doing here to keep this team at an elite level? Surely you feel better about that now, mate.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It just took a while for my new knee to just didn't feel the same in the car, and it was hard to feel the throttle under the foot there, but starting to come good, and I think Santino's still happy with me.
The only text message I've ever received from Junior. The only one I've ever got. What a great picture. What are we eating there, boys? What's on the menu?
They're on the other side of the trailer behind us. It's actually dinner time, so the crew's eating some pizza on the other side of the trailer there. Yeah,
right.
It's simple. It's a load up night, so yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that would be that pizza would be something you guys would. I love it when your dad's got the pies and the sausage rolls. Like, I know that's not necessarily a Rapisarda sounding meal, but whenever you got those homemade sausage rolls and your old man's always like, come on, eat.
Yeah, you never go hungry around here, that's for sure.
Noobs, Ali is a huge part of what you do, and she's very hands-on as well, not just with you on race morning, but, with parts washing and probably the same thing at just a different time of the day, really. But she's very much a big part of what you do.
Yeah, no, she's been there for a long time now, and she's been a big help, and she looks after me and takes care of me. So I love her to bits, and she'll be there on the weekend. So I'm sure you'll come say hello.
So there's no NRL game on somewhere. That's she going to be at. You're going to be at this one, is she?
Yeah, there's no football on this weekend.
No, it's always about priorities, Tino. Because if there's a chance to watch a rugby league game in Vegas, Noobs' ass is grass. She's just not there.
I know it's a pivotal moment. So Ali's here when it counts, and she's always in the background anyway. You know, Ali's a massive supporter of Wayne, and she keeps him in line as well.
I had a fantastic road trip with the boys, the truck boys, heading to the Western Nationals. I really enjoyed that experience driving across the Nullarbor. It gave me a sense of how everybody plays a really important part in the team, and it's not just that the guys drive the trucks. When they get to the event, then they're working on different aspects of the team as well. Everybody matters in your team, and you have a huge operation. When you're talking 3 cars, you've got to be talking 45, 50 people, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At least, you know, it's awesome to have, you know, as many family members as you can have as well. Yeah, it's a lot of people to get this thing done.
Brandon Costello is watching. Is he inside the building? Is he sort of outside looking in? Yeah, you know that guy. I don't know if you've even heard of him, but he keeps chiming in saying he's watching, so I've got to make mention of him. Noobs, the elephant in the room is the significance of that trophy. Yeah, and I've spoken to you about this before, and it obviously is something that's very, very dear to your heart. And Julie tells some very funny stories about you as kids, all growing up together, and you know, and that incredible. You know, Marg is such an unbelievable lady. Like, she comments on all the Facebook stuff. She's across all the socials. She's a really big part of all this. But you and the Sainties grew up together.
Yeah, we grew up. Both Stan and my father raced boats together, so I've known them all my life, and yeah, it's going to mean a real lot to me to win it.
Well, it's already been in your truck, or in the other truck, but it hasn't left that black truck just on the other side of the pits. Like, so this is the opportunity just to go and get it and take it out of that truck. At what point do you think this will set in and go, when can you even think about winning this championship? Or do you have to say the old cliche, it's just another race?
When the job's done, it's done.
Yeah.
Second
So what does tonight look like for you guys then? How long does it take to load up? Are you all done and tomorrow is just a rest day? Like, what happens tomorrow and what happens tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Our car's already loaded in the trailer. Tomorrow's a normal day for us.
And
Both of us will be going to work.
Gosh, isn't that crazy to think that you guys just go to work and do things? And when's the haircut happening? Is it tomorrow or Friday?
Done tomorrow afternoon, probably.
Is it going to be something wild? Are you going for something really out there or just simple?
Just like yours, we're a cap.
Any recommendations in the comments?
Yes, that's a good idea. Colors. What about colors? Like one side, one side black, one side. In fact, when I look back a couple of those old photos I sent you, Noobs, from back in the day, one of your mates had shocking blonde peroxide blonde hair back in the day as well. So, there's no reason why you couldn't roll that out again.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
The consistency in the NDRC product goes back to track preparation as well, boys, and that's extremely important. That guy that does an amazing job in our series gets the surface right for you. How important is that, Tino? And do you have any feedback at all as teams as how the track's prepped?
Yeah, I think it's shown in the results that, compared to NHRA these days, the runs that are being made, it's there's a direct relationship with that track preparation. Justin Simpson, brought in by Andy, Andy's taken on board the feedback, and what Justin gives as far as consistency is like the NHRA, where the same people are giving you the same surface each time, and the results show that and speak for themselves.
Yeah. When you think about it, the whole emphasis on the bend was on the idea of breaking a world record, right? And you would think, if I'd said to you 2 years ago, there was even a chance that we were going to break a record like Brittany Force's, you'd have to go, well, that's pretty optimistic. But reality was, we weren't that far off it every time we've rolled out it, particularly at the bend.
Yeah, from my aspect, I think it's still a little bit away. It's like a bell curve. The closer you get to that end of running a 62, the more it takes to get there from say 68 or a 71 from our end. Like, I'll be honest, to push from below a 75 to the 71, it takes more than going from say an 80 flat to a 75. So that's just an example as to what we're up against. There's a respectable amount to get to something like a 62.
And it doesn't seem that long ago that a 370 was like, holy cow, right?
We only spoke about that the other day, like running 77 at the Winners 2 years ago. It was like unbelievable, but now if you don't run a 72, you're not in the ballpark.
Yeah, there's been a lot of development over all the teams. You know, Lamatinas have been in the 70s, and I know they'll be back there soon. But like, you know, Junior throwing out a 73 at the Bend when he had the C car as a rental hire. And then you know, Bruce Reed and the Mamba and Phil running 72.
Yeah.
Looking back, it's, you know, we're going tit for tat with each other, and we're pushing each other, and that's what's trying to lower the bar, because if you know it's out there, you'll attempt to go for it, and you know, going along with this track prep, it allows us to.
This has not been an easy ride for either of you guys. When you think about it, you know, with Junior as well, with Damien, you had to basically sort a car in half. Back then, as you said, you had to go to the C car and eventually get back into the A car. Noobs has been to the beach at the Motorplex. There's been issues that have not exactly been just a constant trajectory, but that's, I guess, the beauty of fuel, right?
Yeah, 100%. You know, always throws that little curveball in there every now and again, but we've got a great team and a great bunch of guys here to help us out, and couldn't do without all them guys. There's a lot of hours that get put in here at the race shop and that, so most of them are volunteers, so yeah, can't do it with all them guys.
It's cool to have the POM, Steve Reed, down for the first time, I think, for 10 years or something like that since he's raced in Sydney. So welcome back to the POM. Great to have Phil Lamatina back. There were some encouraging signs, I think, for Lammers as well when he was competing at Dragway at the Bend. And we know that Felipe wants some redemption in that Hydrolink snap-on Black Mamba. So there's a lot to like about this, regardless of what happens with the championship for you guys. There's some other guys that just don't even need to think about a championship, boys.
Yeah, it'll be good to have Phil come back in his car after what they happened at Tailem Bend. You know, like I said before, we need all these cars out there, and hopefully they can go out there and run some good laps without hurting parts.
The popular opinion seems to be black on top and red on the sides. Rapisarda, that's the color scheme that people are suggesting for your noobs.
All right, we'll see what we can organise.
Just get the spray paint, that crazy hair paint.
Yeah.
Well, so you don't have to go like, you know, not ahead of it, but if you win, I think that's a good idea, right? Black on the top and red down the sides, both of you.
Oh, it'll look fast.
Don't want to jinx ourselves.
I know. Your dad, Tino, your dad, some of the scenes that we always watch for him when he's always looking at the screen like this, you know, when you guys have a good run in either lane, the pride in his eyes is phenomenal. And there was a great shot of him, you and Junior, all wrapped up in a big hug at the Bend. Some of those numbers, when you think about what he's given to the sport, it's really cool to see him rewarded for his investment.
Yeah, he acts calm and casual leading up to a race, and maybe he's not cool that we don't get to hang out because we're at the workshop all the time. But yeah, when you whack a good number up there and he pops off, you know, it shows that he's still interested in it, which is awesome to see. You know, keeps us motivated to see, you know, the young racer that's him back in the day. You know, he's got that spark back and he's dancing around and he's happy. It motivates us, and he motivates us when we don't do well as well. He tells us to just look forward and keep pushing and just go ahead.
Noobs, your dad has had a profound impact on your career as well, mate. It's kind of been like two mates racing together, right?
Yeah, and Dad's been by my side all my life, and from when I helped him with his boats to when we had our own car and that, and now with these guys, he's always there watching and that. So great.
Yeah. So the tow vehicle is the pickup truck. That's one of your favourites, I know, Noobs, isn't it?
Oh, I wish it was an auto.
That's exactly what he was. That's exactly what he said to me.
The Effie.
Hey, well, that's a special mention to Mario. Mario is the longest standing crew person at Rapisarda Racing, and maybe it's time we interview Mario as well. We'll do a feature on him, I think. He's
isn't he the Road King? I think that's what Felipe calls him, the Road King, and Baldy gets called the Road Captain. I think there's definitely a chain of command out there on that. Nathan's a bit more like you, Noobs. He's got that same appreciation for the finer things. I'll leave it at that. I'm very excited about Saturday. It is the Nitro Nationals, the grand final of Top Fuel Australia. The Aeroflow Nitro Funny Car Championship comes down to the wire as well. Morris McMillan has that super sick looking Graham Cowan throwback funny car. That thing looks wild. You boys must be stoked with the way. That's a really good nostalgia trip, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it looks trick. Yeah, it's really good for Cowan and the boys. So yeah, can't wait.
Going to be wild. I think gates open at I think 10 or something like that on Saturday. We've got to kick off with the national anthem and the opener, everything from 1, and then we hook into it for 3 rounds of fuel to decide who gets to take home the Stan Sainty Cup. Noobs has probably thought this day was never going to come. Noobs, it kept getting put further and further away.
Hey, it hasn't come yet. And if it rains again, who knows what might happen?
It's going to be an arm wrestle. We'll just do it that way, all right? We'll be right. I appreciate both your time, boys. It's been good fun. I can't wait to see you both on the weekend. Get there on Saturday. 7plus, of course, we'll be streaming it, but get to the event. There's nothing on the planet like watching a fuel car leave the line. There just isn't. So if you get a chance, come along. Can Wayne Newby score a black and red haircut? It's on the table now.
No way.
Get the silly paint. We'll make this happen. Boys, get some rest. I can't wait to see the hairdo when you roll up on Saturday. And good luck to you both. And good luck to the team on the other side of that truck as well. And also to Felipe and Lama and also the Pom and Sholov. Really, really cool to have everybody back racing. Nathan is the one that calls him Sholov. I just use that as well, noobs.
Thanks, buddy.
See you guys on Saturday. Nitro Nationals. Finally, it's going to be very, very cool. Thank you, Santino Rapisarda. Thank you, Wayne Newby. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Junior. Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to a pie and a sausage roll on Saturday, boys.
See you, buddy.
It's a deal.
Good on you. See you guys.